For months, the world accepted one version of the truth, that Menglong's death was sudden, tragic, and unexplainable. But a new set of leaked hospital documents tells a far darker story. Why were the medical files sealed? Who ordered them to disappear before dawn? And what did Menglong say in his final recorded moments that terrified those in power? Question mark. Each page uncovers a secret the world was never meant to see. Join Red Carpet Revealed, as we expose the truth they tried to bury forever. The first message reached our newsroom just after midnight. No greeting, no signature. Only a subject line, for the truth about YM. The attachment contained a bundle of PDFs, stamped with the seal of a private medical facility on the outskirts of Beijing. At the bottom of every page, one phrase repeated in red watermark: confidential, internal use only. At first we assumed it was another hoax. In the months since actor and singer Menglong's sudden death, countless conspiracy emails had arrived. One felt different. The metadata was intact. The formatting identical to genuine clinical records we'd seen before. And the dates aligned precisely with the night he was reportedly admitted to the hospital. One file, titled Incident Report 02-03. Carried a final timestamp, 2:03 a.m., matching the time later listed on his death certificate. What drew immediate attention, however, a handwritten note inserted between pages. If you read this, you'll know he didn't die the way they said. For Red Carpet Revealed. That line was an invitation and a warning. In the days that followed, our team began verifying every fragment. Contacted former staff members, cross-referenced supplier invoices, and traced digital signatures hidden in the PDFs. Small inconsistencies began to surface. The hospital had reported no patient by Menglong's name. Yet a delivery receipt from the same night listed a special intake, YM, for a restricted ward. Power usage logs showed a sudden surge at 1:48 a.m., exactly 15 minutes before the recorded time of death. And the facility's camera network had gone offline between 1:30 and 3 a.m., a blackout that technicians later described as remote maintenance. Maintenance rarely deletes footage. The more we examined, the clearer the pattern became. Information had not merely been withheld, it had been rewritten. The official statement released after his passing claimed cardiac arrest at home. These documents placed him inside a hospital bed under observation. We reached out to the hospital for comment. Their spokesperson responded by email. Our institution has never treated any individual by that name. We are committed to transparency and patient safety. Within an hour, the email auto-deleted from our server. It was replaced by a blank draft. Our IT department confirmed an external access attempt from an unfamiliar IP address traced to corporate media network. Someone was watching. To piece together the chain of custody, we turned to public procurement databases. That's where the first real link appeared. The hospital's largest client contract belonged to a company called Eastern Wellness Consultancy, described as a medical liaison service for high-profile personalities. Among its board members, an executive from Menglong's talent agency. The consultancy's promotional material boasted of crisis response coordination and narrative management. Those terms are common in public relations, not medicine. Yet the consultancy's invoices included line items for clinical containment and Protocol Zero compliance. Protocol Zero, the same phrase scribbled in the leaked files. We located a former employee of the consultancy willing to speak on condition of anonymity. Over 3 separate interviews, in different cities, she confirmed that Protocol Zero referred to emergency procedures, activated when a celebrity suffered a medical incident that could cause public panic. It wasn't medical, she said. It was media control. The goal was to manage information faster than emotion could spread. According to her, once Protocol Zero began, every communication from the hospital flowed through the consultancy. Doctors were required to sign non-disclosure agreements, nurses were rotated out. The system was designed to leave no trace of patient identity. If true, it explained why no staff member ever spoke publicly about that night, and why every digital record appeared to have been sanitized. But then came the detail that turned a disturbing pattern into possible crime. There was a directive that night. The source said quietly. Someone ordered the staff to list the patient as discharged before 3 a.m. Even though he hadn't been. She refused to name who gave the order, only adding, "It wasn't a doctor." We spent 2 weeks corroborating her story. Each time we got close, files vanished. Cloud backups returned error messages. One contact stopped responding altogether. The closer we approached the truth, the more reality seemed to erase itself around it. Yet the silence itself was evidence. In a system built on documentation, missing data speaks loudest. Public interest reignited when rumors of a lost medical file began trending on Weibo. Fans demanded answers. Hashtags multiplied faster than moderators could delete them. Within 24 hours, hundreds of thousands of comments flooded threads asking the same question: where did he really die? The agency released a brief statement calling the rumors malicious fabrications. The hospital repeated its denial. Responses shared the same wording, identical punctuation, identical phrasing, suggesting they came from the same communications team. By now, the leaked files had spread beyond our control. Other outlets quoted excerpts without attribution. Television pundits debated authenticity. Some called it fake. Others labeled it the biggest entertainment scandal of the decade. Through the noise, one detail kept resurfacing: the initials YML. On a document dated the night before the official announcement of death, we reached out to a forensic document examiner to test the leak's legitimacy. Her verdict: these are genuine hospital forms, printed on paper stock reserved for internal case reviews. She noted that the handwriting on the note, if you read this, matched annotations made by at least one verified staff member in earlier, unrelated audits. That confirmation changed everything. The first time, the possibility of institutional cover-up moved from speculation to evidence. Still, the central mystery remained: who sent the files, and why now? The answer came unexpectedly. Through a disposable phone left at our office reception with a note taped to it: do not call back 2 a.m. voice note. The phone contained one audio file, just 40 seconds long. In it, man spoke calmly over the hum of hospital machinery. He asked if the cameras were off. She said. We told him yes. Someone whispered the story clean. Then the monitor flatlined. We could not confirm the authenticity of the recording, but its background sounds matched the acoustic profile of the facility's intensive care wing. We replayed it dozens of times. Each repetition raised the same chill, the sense of a human voice forced into silence. At dawn, we published our first report summarizing the inconsistencies. No accusations, only facts. The reaction was immediate. Traffic overwhelmed our servers. Within hours, the article ranked among the most shared pieces in Asia. Then, predictably, came the backlash: threatening emails, legal notices, warnings of cybersecurity violations. But the story had already escaped containment. Over the next days, other media outlets began corroborating our findings. Satellite logs confirmed a data transfer spike between the hospital and the consultancy during the blackout period. Government spokesperson announced a routine administrative check. Though insiders told us the investigation had been quietly ongoing for weeks, behind every press release, we sensed panic. Then, one afternoon, an unmarked envelope arrived at our office. Inside were photocopies of a disciplinary memo issued by the hospital to a junior nurse, dated 3 days after Menglong's death. The reason for reprimand: unauthorized conversation with external party. At the bottom of the page, signature line was blank. The name had been blacked out. But beneath the ink, faint impressions revealed the outline of 3 characters consistent with the name Lian. We had heard that name before. Was the nurse rumored to have left Beijing shortly after the incident? Her social media accounts were dormant. Apartment empty. If she was the whistleblower, she had gone underground. We spent the next week retracing her digital footprints. Delivery records showed a package sent from her address to an unidentified mailbox, postmarked the same day our newsroom received the leak. Inside that parcel, somewhere between panic and conscience, the truth had begun its journey. The evidence accumulated, so did the danger. Colleagues reported being followed leaving the office. One laptop was stolen from a locked car. Our legal department advised halting publication until authorities concluded their inquiry. But journalism has its own heartbeat. Once the pulse of truth starts, it refuses sedation. At night, while reviewing the last batch of recovered metadata, we found a line of code embedded in one of the hospital spreadsheets. It wasn't standard formatting, it was a message hidden in white text, invisible unless highlighted. Ask for the red folder. No further explanation, no signature. The red folder appeared in witness accounts from multiple sources, a binder carried by senior administrators whenever Protocol 0 was active. Rumor said it contained the master checklist for narrative management: who to contact, what to delete, how to rewrite. Know if it still existed. But we knew where to look. Through procurement archives, we traced one of the hospital's storage contractors to a logistics warehouse on the city's edge. The facility specialized in document disposal. When we arrived posing as auditors, a clerk led us through aisles of shredded paper stacked in transparent bags. In the far corner, marked pending destruction, sat a single red binder. It was unsealed. Inside lay copies of correspondence between the hospital's director and Eastern Wellness Consultancy executives. One email, dated 2 days before the official announcement of death, contained the subject line "Narrative Coordination Draft." Attached was a prepared statement, word for word identical to the one later published online. The draft timestamp was 5 a.m. 3 hours before Menglong was declared dead. That discovery stopped us cold. Photographed every page. Stored the images off-site. Returned the folder exactly as we found it. When we exited the building, dawn was breaking. Traffic roared outside. Indifferent and endless. By sunrise, the implications had crystallized. The public had been told a story planned before the ending occurred. And in that revelation lay the heart of the scandal: not a single hospital's failure, but an entire system's designed to control reality itself. Sure what would come next. Only that we had crossed a threshold that could not be uncrossed. The final page of the binder contained one more signature block, unsigned like the others, bearing a printed line that read, "Protocol 0, status, complete." It wasn't complete anymore. The form did not end with a binder. Once the photos of the red folder were secured, the newsroom became both sanctuary and target. Phones rang with anonymous calls, emails arrived with empty attachments labeled "Final Warning." Outside, the world was already writing its own version of events. Reporters held vigils under rain-streaked umbrellas, whispering the same question the files had raised: how could a story be finished before the ending was written? Authorities opened what they called a limited administrative inquiry. Phrasing was familiar: limited meant controlled. Still, the investigation forced the hospital to release a brief timeline confirming that a patient registered under confidentiality protocol had occupied a private room the night allegedly died. It was the first official acknowledgement that something existed to hide. The consultancy at the center of the documents, Eastern Wellness Group, hired a new public relations firm overnight. Their spokesperson delivered a rehearsed line to every outlet that called, "Our mission is wellness and privacy. Speculation harms grieving families." Statement sounded sympathetic, its precision was chilling. It never denied that the protocol existed. The next 2 weeks, Red Carpet revealed compared every digital footprint we could trace. Metadata linked several of the leaked memos to the personal account of an assistant within Eastern Wellness. When confronted, the company claimed her laptop had been compromised by hackers. But one of the attached drafts contained an internal chat log between executives. The final message read, "Make sure she signs the revised NDA before she leaves." We never found that assistant. Did find were 3 more witnesses willing to speak off the record. Each had worked under the same program in different hospitals, same rules, same secrecy, same coded language. Described the system as a firewall around celebrity lives. Another said, "We were told we were protecting reputations, covering deaths." The third sent a single sentence, "If you want the whole picture, get the insurance contracts." The insurance trail led us somewhere unexpected: an international underwriter that specialized in performance risk. UM's policy named Eastern Wellness as a health management intermediary, giving them authority to make medical decisions on behalf of the insured artist. In practice, that meant the agency controlling his career also controlled his treatment. The clause was legal, but morally it opened a void. Anger deepened. On social media, fans demanded the release of the full report. Hashtags that had once been censored returned stronger: "Justice for YM, Protocol 0. Let truth breathe." Within days, inquiry could no longer remain limited. Lawmakers called for hearings. Whistleblowers offered testimony through encrypted connections. Each new disclosure painted the same portrait: an industry where silence was currency and privacy a weapon. Then, a new leak arrived. A short video clip appeared on an independent cloud server. A corridor. White lights humming. At the corner of the frame, a nurse walked past holding a folder, red, unmistakable. Behind her, Two figures in suits entered a restricted room. Stamp matched the night of UM's recorded death. No audio. Only the quiet thrum of fluorescent light. But the image was enough. The internet called it the 30 seconds of truth. Experts verified that the footage hadn't been altered. The hospital issued another denial, claiming the clip showed routine maintenance staff. But the badge visible on one man's lapel bore the logo of Eastern Wellness. Within hours, the consultancy's headquarters was surrounded by journalists. Under pressure, executives agreed to a televised press conference. The world expected answers. That was choreography, staged remorse, vague promises. Not a single acknowledgement of wrongdoing. During the broadcast, a reporter in the back shouted. The 5 a.m. statement, the question hung unanswered as cameras cut to commercial. Viewers caught a glimpse of the CEO's face, pale, frozen, almost relieved to be saved by silence, while the corporations spoke in rehearsed tones. Something far more human was happening outside. Volunteers organized public vigils. Doctors signed an open letter calling for transparency in celebrity healthcare. An association of nurses began archiving testimony from staff who had worked under confidential protocols. What started as one leak had become a movement. Late one evening, our newsroom received an envelope with no return address. Inside lay a letter written in careful handwriting. Don't know me, but I worked there. I was on duty that night. We weren't allowed to record anything. But before they took the files, copied one page and hid it. It's not much, but it's proof that he was alive when they closed the record. Use it wisely. The page showed a routine checkbox form. Simple but devastating. The line patient status was ticked stable. Time: 1:57 a.m. 2 minutes before the system logged his time of death. It was unsigned. But the stationery matched the hospital's official supply. We scanned it, stored it off-site, and burned the original as the sender had requested. Published the story. The reaction was immediate and global. Governments announced reforms. Investors withdrew from Eastern Wellness. And the hospital's board resigned. None of those gestures could answer the one question that now haunted the nation: who ordered the silence? Weeks passed without resolution. Inquiry dragged on. Lost in bureaucracy. Evidence vanished into classified archives. Yet the cultural shift had already begun. Entertainment contracts were rewritten to remove medical control clauses. Advocacy groups formed around the slogan "Truth needs oxygen." Then, quietly, another message appeared in our encrypted inbox. No attachments this time, only text. Stop searching for me. Keep telling their stories, L. It was the nurse, the original whistleblower. Whether she was safe, we couldn't tell. The message came through a disposable account and disappeared within minutes. But it confirmed what we needed to know: she was alive, watching, and still refusing to let the truth die. A year later, a memorial concert was held for UM. Thousands attended. No official sponsors. Separate logos, just fans, candles, and music. Halfway through the event, the giant screen behind the stage lit up with a single sentence. They wrote the ending. But we rewrote the truth. The crowd fell silent. Erupted in applause that rolled through the night like thunder. Back at our newsroom, the red folder photographs still hung on the wall. They were reminders of how fragile truth can be, and how powerful one act of courage remains. The story was never about death, it was about the machinery that decides which stories are allowed to live. Red Carpet Revealed continues to investigate the shadow industry of crisis management medicine. Files surface. Appear, resurface again. Every document we open begins the same way: confidential, internal use only. Every time we read those words, remember the nurse's voice. They can rewrite files, but they can't rewrite memory. And somewhere beyond the reach of protocols and denials, a quiet promise endures: that truth, once uncovered, cannot be buried again.